Welcome back to Tropical Boise. This is Rich. It is January 30th. It's a lovely day out here. It's about, well, probably pushing 45 degrees. We've had kind of our coldest weather of the winter, where we've had a lot of teen temperatures, probably about 10 days consecutive in a row. I think our coldest was 12 that we got, but the palms are still looking real good, and it looks like we might be starting to leave what little winter we had behind a little bit. Go ahead and start looking at the palm boxes over here for a second. I'll start off with this guy, the Mediterranean fan palm. He still looks nice and green in there. I've had an interesting issue with here. I had what I thought was a thermal cube that was busted, because even when we got those really cold temperatures, it wasn't kicking on. And temperature in this box actually got down to about 25, 26. I think that it was the coldest it got, which, that temperature happens in St. George quite a bit, so I wasn't too terribly concerned by that. But I was wondering why the thermal cube wasn't kicking on, so I did get another one and replaced it. And it did actually kick on a couple times, but sometimes it still doesn't, even though I know it's cold enough in there to do that. So kind of a little bit of a mystery. I'm not really sure why that took place. Over here to the needle palm, he's been kicking on when he has. This past 10 days or so with these cold temperatures, they've all kicked on, and it's warmed them well above the freezing point. So everything still looks real good and green in here. Like I say, I think those teen temperatures, I think we had the last one this morning at 17, and looks like as far as we can see into February, we're at least into the 20s. We do have a storm coming through that's gonna warm things up a little bit. I did mention in the last video, we've got some flowers starting to pop up over here. We've got some of our bulbs coming up, which that's kind of exciting, feeling like maybe spring is really on the way here. The south side gets lots of sun. So here in the windmill palm, he's got temperatures of about 72 degrees in there right now. He's still super nice and green, getting some sun. He's real happy. The thermal cubes have kicked on every morning through this cold stretch, but it hasn't gotten below freezing in any of those boxes. So pretty excited about that. Pretty happy with where this is gone. And the California one, I noticed with him, he's about 68 degrees in here right now. That spear is actually starting to spread out a little bit. It's that was the last one of the summer season, and it was just a spear when it started, but it's starting to push up a little bit. So that's kind of exciting. So the other one you can't really see into, so I think I won't pull his top off, but he looks green in there as well. So I talk about the weather a little bit, and then we'll sign off. Just a little short one, giving you on the update on how the palms are doing when we actually had some zone 8 temperatures. All right, welcome back. Just want to take a couple minutes and kind of talk about that cold front and how the boxes kind of survived that. It started here on January 18th, where we hit that first zone 8 temperature of 16, and pretty much it's been that way, other than a couple days where it was above that during that stretch. Coldest was there on the 22nd, when we hit 12 degrees overnight for the low. And this morning, it looks like that 17 is probably the last one that we're going to get. We may peek into one in February, but pretty unlikely. And the weather forecast doesn't really look like that going forward. The things have performed pretty well. As I mentioned, none of the boxes except for the Mediterranean fan palm have been below freezing. And that's just because that thermal cube's kind of given me some problems. Even on that coldest morning where we hit 12 degrees, the box average was still 34. It was actually interesting. The day before that is one of the days that thermal cube did not kick on in that Mediterranean fan palm. And it was like 25 or 26 in there, which brought the average down a little bit from the other boxes. But that's the only day where the total average has been, below freezing the whole time, and really not much those palms can't take. So we passed a big milestone Tuesday of this week on the 27th. That's the day where our lows are not on average any colder than 27, which is the lowest in St. George. So I feel like that's a big milestone to get past to be in good shape. In terms of making it, and as I look at our forecast coming up here in February for the next 2.5 weeks or so, we're going to warm up above freezing here for the next few days, and all the way through middle of the month, there's nothing in there low temperature wise that looks all that scary. Just a bunch of zone 9 temperatures, and we start getting towards March, we should be in pretty good shape. I'll watch it for another couple weeks, and then I'm thinking my next step will be to pull the front off of the boxes and still leave the boxes there to trap a little bit of heat in, but start reacclimating them to the sun and some of the more conditions that they're going to get. They're going to open up that hole a little bit bigger, and then hopefully into March, if the temperatures look okay, just take them down completely and leave all the lights on, just plug directly into the thermal cube, and that way, if it does happen to get cold, we can kick on and get them a little bit of heat there. So that's kind of the plan. It's looking good in terms of where everything's going, and so we'll see you next time. And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.